from a fan standpoint, you know, Arnold, his enemy was Sly.
Yeah.
They went up against each other, right? And you know that story about when Arnold made it seem like he was interested in this one movie. I don't know what the movie, Oscar.
Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah, what was the movie called?
Throw Mama from the Train.
Is that what it was? It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm gonna, no, yeah, you know, Sly, that's
story.
biggest flop, right? You know, for Michael, maybe it's the Isaiah, you know, being left off the dream team, or Magic, or Bird, or later on, maybe a Malone, maybe a, you know, Akeem, or, you know, maybe even in the past of trying to outdo Wilt, or, you know, whoever it is, David Thompson, all these other guys as the greats. You know, you go into business, you have certain names that Musk keeps going and he's not stopping. It's constant, like, how much more money do you need to make? You're worth $250 billion, you're still going. Who were some of those enemies throughout that brought in the best in you? Some names. Like, I can drop some names, but I'm curious to know if you have any names.
Sure.
So, for example, maybe would you consider John Cena as one of them? Would you have considered Stone Cold, Steve Austin as one of them? Would you have considered maybe a Will Smith as one of them to outdo? Were they some of the guys that drove you to compete against them?
Those guys, I know all those guys, and we competed on a great level. But, you know, the truth is, in wrestling, it's a little different. You still compete. You still have to keep your head on a swivel. And I always like to say it's shark-infested waters in that world, in this world too. Business, entertainment, sports entertainment. Here's what I will say. When I got to Hollywood, you mentioned Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Clint Eastwood, and Bruce Willis. Those 4 men were so good to me when I got to Hollywood, and they didn't have to be. They were biggest stars in the world at that time, 20 years ago. They were welcoming. I would see them out. They would come to me or say, hey, I want to see The Rock. Can I meet him? Say hello. We all stayed in touch, became friends. And I never forgot that because they were in positions where they didn't have to be. And I realized, though, to your point, Patrick, is the ones who are confident in themselves, confident in their success, and want to see not only the business grow, but want to see people do well. And especially, I feel like I'm a decent guy. You want to see somebody who's a pretty good person do well. It's the people you don't meet, the ones behind the scenes. Those are the ones who are trying to hold you down. So I realize instead of searching for those guys, and also those guys are really, and you guys will find this in business too, as you know, the ones who are confident, quiet in the room, it's like in a board meeting, the quiet ones will sit and they're really the powerful ones in the meeting who make all the decisions. The quiet ones, the ones who are behind the scenes trying to hold you down, those are the ones who are chicken shit anyway, who will never come to you, you'll never see them. And I realized instead of me trying to find them or try to figure out, well, who made that call and why did this happen, I thought, okay, I'll always remember the people who were good to me. And then I realized the person I compete with most is just me. It's you versus you. And I think that's something we can all, attest to. You versus you.
I want to believe you, okay? And that's very nice what you just said. Fantastic. But I'm not convinced. I think you're a psycho competitor. And I'll say one
I am,
thing.
I'm crazy.
I think you're a psycho competitor, but I think like, I'll give you an idea. When I was watching Brady speak while he's playing, and they would ask him questions, he would give his answers in a very interesting way. It would be, yes, they were the better team today. And the reporter's job is to ask a question to have a story, right? And Brady was a pro. He wasn't going to give him shit, right?
Yeah.
And he knows the game, because you also know this, right, while we're going back and forth. And then I'm like, but I would watch Brady in the game. He playing against that Kansas City Chiefs. Who was the cornerback or the safety that he went in his face afterwards and he bumped him? What was the guy? Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Number 32. What is number 32's name in, what was his name? Who?
Oh, the Badger.
What's his name? That's what it is, yes. So he goes in his face, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this guy's freaking 40. Look at this. And then he comes after the interview. I shouldn't have done that. I lost control. It's not how you behave. I'm like, dude, stop it. That's exactly how you behave as a crazy competitor. But then, you know, we had Bill Belichick at our event a month ago in MGM, and he comes in. He's no longer coaching. So he can talk a little bit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, I don't give a shit right now.
He's got some freedom.
He's got some freedom. He's got a 25-year-old girlfriend. He really doesn't give a shit what you think about him right now. Right? He's like, dude, say whatever you want. I'm freaking Bill Belichick, right? But I got a flavor of it with Brady last year, and even with Kobe, because when Kobe came, and we did the late, great Kobe, to me, Kobe is just, you know, I have a very unique relationship with Kobe. I love Kobe. My father and I mean, it was a whole different thing. When he came to the event at Mirage and we did the interview, it was after he had retired, and guess what? He was a little bit more loose. And I said, hey, you know, if Shaq had your work ethic, what would have happened? He said, we would have won 11, 12 rings, right? And then Shaq got pissed at me. He blocked me. He said, you and your little company, who the hell you think you are? For 2.5 years, he's blocked me. Then I invited him to the event, and we had a great conversation together. Do you think a part of you with where you're at in your mind, it's, I don't want to give the media nothing, so the next day nothing's going to be written about me, and you are so great of a natural communicator that you know how to give an answer, but the levels of the answer of, you know, not necessarily vanilla's here, you'll go here, but this is 24, 48-hour news cycle, you play right here, right now, this phase of your life. Would you say that's kind of where you are?
Yeah, I think as you go down the road of life, you start to realize you like to think you get a little savvy, a little media savvy, but also too, you go down the road of life and you experience what you experience, where you're always in front of the media. You either go this way at the fork of the road, and this way is I never want to talk to them again, or this way where you say, look, we all got jobs to do. We're all in this business together. I'm an open book. You can ask me whatever you want to ask me. I always tell that to anybody who I sit down with. The thing that I realized is I have to be very clear and concise with my answers, depending on the subject, because as we know, clickbait time, that's all everybody wants, and they'll take the answer, they'll spin it, clickbait, and then just move on. When you realize, oh wait, that's actually not what I said. You're taking it and you're spinning it. So the balance is, I don't want to not speak to media. I got a lot of friends in media, as you do too as well. And again, we're all in this thing together. So I can control the controllables about what I say and how I say it too as well.
And the reason why I'm asking this question from you on the enemy side is because at some point, you got a beautiful house, you live in a beautiful place, you got your place that you told me in the back that you like to go to, you know, family, fishing. I love your fishing videos. When you're doing your fishing videos, you're out there, you know, you're doing your thing, and you put them out, and then boom, next. You know, you've had the success, the fame, the recognition, the accolades, all this stuff. Eventually it gets to a point where it's kind of like, you know, what's going to drive this guy to go to the next level? So if you're saying enemy up, maybe I'll ask this one question on this one. Let's see if we'll get anything out of you on this specific topic. Is there a next enemy for you where you're kind of a, and maybe we don't even need to say enemy. It's the next, so you're saying enemy up, like compete up. Is there a next target for you where you're like, this would be interesting for me to play in this space? I'd like to be able to do X, Y, Z. Is there anything like that or no?
Well, there's always stuff like that. I think that I've gotten really lucky and fortunate over the years to have accomplished what I've been able to accomplish, but again, the hunger doesn't go away. I like to say I got a full plate, but I could always make room for the stuff I love. And I've reached that point in my life where when I wake up in the morning, I have got to be running towards the thing that I want to do and not walking towards it, not, oh, I really don't feel like doing this, or God, why did I agree to do this, or why did I get into this business with somebody at such, I got to be running to it. And I realized that if I'm able to do that, get up in the morning and run to it, then I'm in that place of joy and happiness. Doesn't mean that the work goes away, the work ethic goes away, you work even harder, but so I got to run towards it. So the second part to this, to answer you directly, is I don't know if there's anything that I could point to and say, I've never done that, therefore I want to do it. But I can tell you that what I do these days, I run to, I love, and also, so for example, and I feel like it could tie into everything we're doing in here, we all rely on the product, the brand, the consumer, the customer, the people, the audience. For a long time, what I used to do is think audience first. That was important, and it served me very well. Consumer first, customer first, guest first, however we qualify our audience. And it served me very well. I started to realize, though, but I'm not running towards this particular thing. So what I realized is now it has to be the thing that I do, has to be the thing that I love to do, and therefore, almost like Hollywood conformed years ago, I found that if it's the thing I'm running to and I love to do, then everybody comes with me.
If there's one thing you're going to get from this interview with The Rock and I, we both love America. We had 2 big flags at our event. He's got a flag in his gym and everywhere he goes. This is the USA gear, limited edition for the rest of the year. If you love America, sport this USA gear. On the side it says Future Looks Bright. On the back it says Valuetainment. On the side it's got the American flag. We got the shirts. We got the flip-flops. These are the only flip-flops I wear when I'm at the house and walking the dogs. It feels amazing with the gel in it. So, if you love America, if you believe the future looks bright, if you love Valuetainment, click on the link above or below. Go wear some of the gear and tag us because we share the pictures on the podcast all the time. So go to vtmerch.com and place your order.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.